अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं तदा स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं पदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोन् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we'll start the class, Mataji. So like we discussed last week, like Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters and 750 verses. Out of those, we will study Bhagavad Gita in 3 levels. First level, we'll have an overview of Bhagavad Gita, essence of Bhagavad Gita in first 8 to 10 sessions, how we'll proceed forward and understanding the essence of Bhagavad Gita, how we can apply in our day-to-day life. And then after that, we will study each chapter step by step and in detail, and then we'll go verse by verse. And today's chapter is basically 2 chapters that we will be discussing Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter and 16th chapter, how we can apply that in our day-to-day life. So today's class title is Discover the Game of Life. We'll go forward. So what is everyone searching for? So if we look around, we are all trying to enjoy our life, right? We are all trying to enjoy our life. We want to pursue so many things. In that process, we, for example, like we want to get into a very good college, or we want to study in a very nice college like engineering, medicine, higher education, and then we want to get into a very good career, and then we want to acquire a good nice fat salary, and then we want to buy a nice car, and then we want to buy a bungalow or a nice building, nice home in a very nice community. So we tend to do all these things. If we look around, everybody is trying to do these things. So we have to question ourselves. When we question ourselves, why we are doing this, what is the purpose we are doing this. So if we try to ask a question, so one word we are looking for is for happiness. We all want to be happy. So in that search for happiness, we try to do so many things. We try to acquire that happiness in several different ways. For example, if you look at a young boy, like a child, he's so fond of a balloon. So he really wants to find happiness in by getting a balloon. And once he grows up a little bit, he no longer finds happiness in that. He wants a tricycle. And then when he grows up, he wants to, when he gets up into a teenager, he wants to play football or something like that. And he basically he's giving up on the things that he found happiness, and then he's trying to find happiness in something else. And as he grows up, he finds he wants to meet the members of opposite sex and find happiness in them, and then he further grows up. He wants to earn money, he or she wants to earn money, become a businessman, and then when he gets older, they find happiness in and grandchildren. They want to play with grandchildren and all. So this is the we try to search happiness in different ways. So and we also, in that search of happiness, we try so many different things, so many different fashions and all that. We basically give up one thing and we try to get other thing in search of that happiness. And we even do very scary and daredevil acts in search of happiness, like skydiving. And but people die like a skydiving instead of skydiving when the parachute doesn't have open up. They even in that search of happiness, in that pursuit of happiness, they even give up the thought that they may even die. For example, in the recent news, we have seen that 4 or 5 billionaires who all of them went deep into the ocean in a small pod or a small submarine to see Titanic, and they all died. So in that, so it is a common fact. When we see around, people wants to find happiness by doing different activities. So uh, and like we see people play sports and all to find happiness, and everybody is trying to do some kind of activity in search of happiness. So we know, for example, if you smoke cigarette, you know that you're going to get lung cancer. And if you know yeah, when you take intoxicants, you know that you'll get liver cirrhosis or something like that. So our pursuit for happiness is so strong that even we know that we're going to die, or even we are risking, we are ready to risk our life and do those activities. Okay, and we assume that we assume that finding happiness is just an improved facilities for different activities that we do in day-to-day life. For example, if right now, if we want to do one activity or few activities, so we find so much happiness in eating. Like everybody is fond of eating, they want to eat, but how much can we eat? Right? Suppose there is a gulab jamun. There is always a competition between the tongue and belly. So we want to eat more, but the belly says no, but the tongue says yes, I want to eat more, but the belly says you can't eat more. So and then once we are full, and when you eat nicely, then you want to sleep, right? And then we also want to mate and beget children and all. We find happiness, try to find happiness in that process also. And then everybody defends. So for example, if you see all the families, they fight and they defend with each other, and then countries defend each other, and then whoever whoever performs the defending act in a better way, they call themselves as a winner, and they declare themselves as happy. So eating, sleeping, defending, mating, these are the four activities. Ahar, nidra, bayam, aitun. So these are the four activities that we think gives us happiness, and every activity we do around is basically revolves around these four principles. And even if you look around, animals also have friends. Even animals can have fun, so they also have families. So and the four activities what we find pleasure in: eating, mating, sleeping, defending. So animals also do that. If you give a nice big watermelon to elephant, he really likes to eat and he finds so much pleasure in that. And polar bears, they basically sleep for 6 months. They also do that kind of activities. And then mating, when animals also do mate and they beget offsprings and all, and they also fight. For example, like we used to live at a home, and a neighbor across our neighbor, they used to have a dog, and almost every day, or at least like a one few days a week, it used to come to our home, and it used to urinate in front of our front door. And like we complained to the neighbor several times, but the dog keeps coming and doing that again and again. Then I did some research, why is the dog coming and urinating, and it's basically what I found is it likes to urinate and say it is my territory, this is mine. So they also have the tendency, it is a general tendency in them also to defend, right? And so eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these are all the common activities between humans and also animals. So in what way humans are superior to animals? So this is a fundamental question we have to ask. If we are also doing all the activities just revolving around these four things, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and animals are also doing the same activities. So how is a human being so different than animals? And what is the difference between animals and humans? So somebody might say,
Sorry to
well,
interrupt you, Janakraj Das ji.
yes.
So are you sharing your screen, because we are not able to see the
Oh,
presentation?
yeah, I've been showing so many things for you.
Yeah, yeah. So we are not able to see. At least I'm not able to see. I don't know if others are able to see or not.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not able to see Pravina. I was in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
session. He hasn't
I
started any
think you,
Yeah.
presentation. Yeah.
right.
I
So
said he's not sharing screen yet. Yes.
you're not sharing the screen. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm so sorry.
So on the right side,
No,
bottom
but
corner, there is share screen option.
Yes, yes, yes. Can you see?
Yes.
Now, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay. Let me go through that whole thing real quick because I really want to show
Yes, please.
these things. Yeah. So like I said, like everybody is searching for happiness, right? So we discussed like the little boy was wants to find happiness in playing with the balloon and the tricycle, and then play a soccer game, and then find happiness in the opposite sex, and then becoming a businessman, or then when you become old, you basically try to find happiness in grandchildren and all that. So and we in that process we try so many things like fashion and daredevil activities like this, like skydiving and all these things, right? And play sports and all that. And we indulge ourselves in different things like smoking, intoxication, in spite of knowing the fact that they're gonna kill us. So we assume happiness by eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. These are the four activities we try to perform that animals also do. Like animals also have friends, and they have fun, and they also have families, and they also find happiness in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, right? Uh, and then, so we went through this. Yeah. So if yeah, these sleeping, eating, mating, defending, these are all common in animals and human beings. So in what way human being is superior to animals? So somebody might say, okay, why are you comparing ourselves with animals? Like we are much more advanced, which we are much more sophisticated. So animals also in a way they are very advanced and sophisticated also. Say we say like we sleep on a very costly bed, or we sleep in a costly home, or we eat in a five-star hotel and all. But the quality of activity, they sleep and we sleep, and they eat and we eat, in a way, there it is not much of a difference. So if you, for example, if you look at this, uh, if you look at this, so if you look at an eagle, eagle can go far away and still it can see so nicely, and it can spot a prey like a rat or a snake, and it can come so fast and it can catch the prey. Can a human being do that? He cannot do that. So can a human being compete with a horse in running? So a horse can run much faster than a human being. For example, a dog. If you compare yourself with a dog can produce like 10 or 12 puppies a year. And how many like how human being can produce like one or two a year. And if you want, and you can see in some shows, TV shows, we have some TV shows where people compete in eating a lot of food. But can we eat as much as an elephant eats? Elephant can eat tons and tons of grass in one day. And polar bear can sleep like for 6 months, and like we think like we can sing so nicely, and even birds like a nightingale, cuckoo, they sing so nicely. So if we try to pursue happiness by doing activities that revolve around eating, mating, sleeping, defending, we cannot in any way compete against animals, right? We cannot anyway compete against animals. They can also do the same activities, and they can perform the activities in a much better way than we can do. So yeah, so that's what we're discussing. So in eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, animals also have rational power and intelligence, right? So suppose if you there are so many birds sitting on a tree, and if you clap your hands, though they all fly away. So they have intelligence. They can use their intelligence to fly away. And cat can go slowly, and it can basically drink milk without even you noticing it. So it is using its intelligence. And suppose if you see a dog on the street, or a dog is coming towards you, if you pick up a stone, if you are trying to hit the dog, it will run away. So the dog also is using its intelligence to defend itself, right? So in what way humans are better? But one important thing that we need to notice here is animals also use their intelligence, but they are limited to using their intelligence to perform these four activities: eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. But somebody might say, "Yeah, well, human beings have very advanced technology and all. Animals cannot have that. Animals don't have that." So if we look at it, is that really true? Like, if we have so much advancement in science and technology and medicine and all, but still we see the people are so dissatisfied. They're full of anxiety and stressed out and depressed, and all, they are unhappy, right? So, but there is, definitely with the advancement of human being and technology and all this, there is some increase in comfort, but there is no true inner peace or joy in the heart. Okay. So see, even we say, like, we can say that we are sophisticated. We are much more sophisticated than animals. So we are living in a expensive community, nice communities. We can make nice communities and all. So even animals can also make. For example, if you look at a bumblebee, I mean, not bumblebee, what is that? A honeybee. It makes a very nice, sophisticated. Even today, scientists are studying how nicely honeybee can make its a beehive, and they have like a queen, they have a worker bees and all, and they don't create any riots, and they don't create any protests like human beings do. So and they don't animals, they don't commit suicide, and the animals, they don't divorce, and they don't indulge in drugs and abuse, and they suffer. So in the basically the point we're trying to make here is, in spite of advancements in technology, in spite of advancements in medicine and all, people are suffering. People do suffering. So what makes a human being superior to animals? What makes a human being superior to animals? So this is very nicely explained in Hitopadesha in Mahabharata. Ahara nidra bhayamaitanam cha samanyametat pashbir naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashbi samana. So these four activities, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, are common between among animals and human beings also. But a human being is considered superior only when he does dharmohi tesham adhiko vishesho. That means only when he inquires about higher dimensional science involving the wisdom of God. What is the purpose of life? What is a reason this entire creation is made? And what are the laws and secrets of the how to get the inner fulfillment? And otherwise, if a human being doesn't inquire about these things, about dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho, he is no better than an animal. That's what the scriptures is saying. So animals can inquire. Animals can also inquire. Animals can also inquire. But what they can do, they can inquire about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending only. These are the only four activities that they can inquire about. Whereas human can inquire about higher principles of life, like death and beyond, and make right choices. So So as we go forward in this session, we will try to understand.
Chatraj Dasri, I think there's a question coming up. Someone had a question.
What is it? Also, can we discuss all the questions at the end, if you don't mind?
At the end. Okay, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, as we go forward in this session, we will try to learn about all these questions, like who am I? Does God really exist? And how to achieve like unending happiness, and why do good things happens to bad people, and why do bad things happen to good people, and why there are so many religions, and why do they fight, and all that, all those kind of things. We'll try to answer all those questions as we go forward in these next sessions, right? So the bottom line, the first part of this today, what our discussion is, what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to establish ourselves how we are better than animals, and what are the things that we do and what animals can also do, and what are the things that we can do and what that animals cannot do, and how we differentiate ourselves against animals. So with this foundation, we'll go forward, right? So in Bhagavad Gita, in 14th chapter, Krishna talks about three modes of material nature. Three modes of material nature. The one is Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And in 16th chapter, Krishna talks about divine nature and demoniac nature. So we're going to study those in a practical way, how we can apply those things, how we can apply those principles in our day-to-day life. So I will read a couple of verses real quick from Bhagavad Gita, and then we can proceed. So Krishna says, this is 16th chapter, the divine and demoniac natures. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly man. So Krishna is describing. So we discussed, right, Jivatma. So now we are some of the Jivatma. We are discussing some of the things that Krishna is going to explain about Jivatmas. The qualities of a divine person and the qualities of a demoniac person. And he also says like pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and arrogance, ignorance. These qualities belong to those of a demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. So Krishna is saying everybody has divine qualities and demoniac qualities. You can like a positive thinking and negative thinking. So if we take up to divine qualities, basically we go up, right? Like a spiritual knowledge, sense control, austerity, study of Vedas, and these are the divine qualities that helps us to grow up. Whereas the demoniac qualities like a pride, false prestige, ignorance, anger, envy, lust, greed, and these are all negative qualities that pull us down, right? So how we can apply these things in our day-to-day life. So let us say we're going to tip one. If you are going to write a book of life, if you're going to write a book of life, so if you look at the picture on the left side of the slide, you can see this person is basically upset, getting upset, and also he's scaring everybody around him, right? Those are all he's exhibiting the negative qualities, like the demoniac qualities that Krishna is describing. And if you look at on the right side, the person is very happy and he's exhibiting divine qualities. So if we consider ourselves as like a 100 chapters, we have a book with 100 chapters, and each chapter has 365 days. Let us say each chapter has 365 days, right? And we can fill up that book with negative qualities or positive qualities, right? Like for example, I am 37 years old. So right till now, whatever activities I have performed, all the negative things or good things or bad things, I have the consequences. we have to have the consequences for those activities that I have done. But the good thing is the remaining pages are empty, and then we can write those empty pages with the either positive qualities or negative qualities, right? So if you look at the picture on the left side, so everybody wants eco-friendly environment and ego-friendly relationships, right? And if you look at the picture on the right side, they might have lots of money, but they are love bankrupt. Why? They may not. The picture on the left side is showing clearly that they are happy, but the picture on the right side is clearly showing that they are not so happy. Because if you fill your book with positive qualities and divine qualities, you can have a positive life. And if you fill your book with negative qualities or demoniac qualities, you will have to suffer. You cannot enjoy happiness. So this concept is very nicely explained. This concept is very nicely explained in Upanishads. Is the body of chariot is compared to the body is compared to the chariot, and it's has all the horses are 5 horses are compared to the 5 senses, right? The 5 horses are compared to 5 senses. Each sense is like eyes, ears, nose, skin, and tongue, and these are the 5 senses. And the mind is compared to the ropes that hold the senses, and the intelligence is compared to the driver, and the soul is the passenger. Suppose if you let all the 5 horses go in different directions, what happens? The chariot will break down and the passenger will fall down. Similarly, if we let all our senses go in all different directions, and basically it is your causing yourself death. How it is very nicely explained in scriptures. There are it is explained using 5 different animals like a moth, elephant, or fish, and then a deer, and then what is the other animal? Okay. Ears. The deer is ears, and skin is elephant, and tongue is a fish, and the nose, smell is a bumblebee, and the eyes is a moth. Moth, what happens? It takes birth, and then when it looks at like a firefly, when it looks at the fire, it thinks it is so nice, and it jumps into the fire and it dies. And then deer is so fond of hearing sweet music, and the hunter plays nice sweet music, and then he kills the deer. And similarly, elephant exhibits so much pleasure for sense of touch. So it exhibits pleasure in sense of touch, and then it calls for its own death. And similarly, tongue, fishes are like so fond of eating, and the fishermen catch the fish just by throwing some prey. And bumblebee, they are so fond of sense of smell, and whenever there is a sweet smelling flower, they go and they keep on accumulating honey, keep on accumulating, and then they die because somebody is going to come and grab the whole honey and they will kill all the bees, right? So this way, when we don't control our senses, so here Krishna explains very nicely, Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jitaha anatmanastu satrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. That means when you have control over your own mind, then your mind is the best friend. When you don't have control over your own mind, your mind is the worst enemy. So you have to empower your mind. You have to how do you do that? If your intelligence is strong, if your intelligence is strong and stout, you hold on to the reins of the horses. That is by using your mind. You are empowering the mind to make the right decisions instead of letting the senses wander everywhere. You are empowering the intelligence. And how do you empower your intelligence? By understanding the purpose of life and studying the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, and being in satsang and right association and all. So the soul, when you use the intelligence and mind and control the senses, the soul goes in the right direction, or else it becomes a directionless. And it's also it's explained like everybody has good qualities and we acquire bad qualities. Everybody has good qualities and we acquire bad qualities. So there is innate qualities, and we have to strive to we have to strive to remove these bad qualities, um, just like a raindrop. Like when the rain comes from the sky, when the rain falls from the clouds, it is so pure and clear. But when it touches the ground, it becomes muddy. Similarly, soul is the nature of the soul is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. That is the qualities of soul. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge. Ananda means it's always blissful. But when we come in contact with the three modes of material nature, then we basically degrade ourselves, right? So the goal is Krishna is teaching Arjuna here that we have to overcome those acquired bad qualities and grow our good qualities, innate good qualities. So some of the bad qualities is like some are simple, some are serious, and some are very grave. Some of the bad qualities like postponing, mood off, and getting mood off. Like some people like they want to study something and they till the end of the exam they don't study, and at the end they suffer, right? And some serious issues like if you see your manager, some are they easily get irritated, and they have they cannot exhibit a team playing qualities, and they cause suffering to themselves, and they also cause suffering to others. And also like and if you other more bad qualities like lust, greed, anger, and pride, illusion, and false ego, and lack of loyalty, bad mouthing, and even like illicit relationships. Even though you know that those are all bad things to do, so you still indulge in those things. So these are acquired bad qualities, right? Now let us do a small personality test, self test, based upon the three modes of material nature. Krishna describes three modes of material nature: Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So mode of goodness and mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So if you look at the first picture, the manager is very friendly with his employees and all. So he's exhibiting goodness, mode of goodness, Sattva-guna. So if you look at the second picture, the manager is yelling at the employee. So who is suffering here? Who is really suffering? The answer is both are suffering. The guy who is shouting and yelling, he's also suffering, and the incompetent employee, he's also suffering because he's incompetent. And if you look at the third picture, he's basically exhibiting ignorance, and he's like a dull and ignorance. That is tamoguna. And we'll so next three slides are very important. We'll study what is mode of ignorance or tamoguna, what is mode of passion or rajoguna, and what is sattoguna or a mode of goodness. In Bhagavad Gita, it's explained ignorance means nidra, alasya, pramada. Nidra, alasya, and pramada. So yeah, these are compared to a fox. If you see, look at fox never sleeps in the night, right? And he sleeps during the day. So people in the mode of ignorance, they never sleep in the night, and they in the morning they're so lazy and they oversleep during the day, and then they're so inattentive, and they postpone things, and they are very dull and hopeless and depression. These are all the qualities that Krishna described. A person who is in the mode of ignorance, these are all the qualities that Krishna described. And they're even like crazy people. They're even crazy people. Because why Krishna calls them crazy? Because like the choices they make in their life are like that. For example, we have so much pollution around us, but still we like to smoke. We want to put so much toxins in our body, knowing that it's going to kill us. So that is a craziness, right? And similarly, we drink alcohol, we take intoxicated. So these people with these lower qualities, these with a demoniac nature or a mode of ignorance, what they do is they get slapped by the life. They get kicked by the life. And when it happens, they become so fearful, they become insecure, and they don't know what to do. They cannot think properly, and they become panic and they cry. So these are all the qualities for the people who are in the mode of ignorance. And the next one is the mode of passion. So that is Sangha and Trishna. when somebody who is in the mode of passion, they have so much desire for become popularity. They want to become popular. They're very ambitious, and they have like they exhibit cutthroat competition. They have lots of pride and anger. They are not a team player, huh? They're individual players, and they take snap decisions, and they have so much thirst for honor and prestige and envy. We also come across these people in our day-to-day life. These are the people in the mode of passion. That's what Krishna is saying. Sangha and Trishna. These people exhibit Sangha and Trishna. And mode of goodness. People who are in the mode of goodness, they exhibit Sukham and Jnanam. Sukham and Jnanam. Sukham means they're more in the mode of goodness. They regulate their life. They're more cleanliness. They maintain their life simplicity, just like a cow. Right? The cow, like if you see a big cow, like in Gujarat, you have like a gir cow, right? Even though it is very big, it's so gentle and peaceful and happy, right? Similarly, a person who is in the mode of goodness, they love to acquire a knowledge, and they're philosophers, and they basically they are more in the think before they act. They exhibit saintly qualities, and they're in the they have tolerance, the qualities like tolerance. You have heard this, right? Sarve jana sukhno bhavantu, sarve santu niramaya. So they want to spread the goodness to everybody. That is the nature of more people in the mode of goodness. They give wisdom to others, and they have the quality of forgiveness, and they have a controlled mind. They have a compassionate heart, and they are calm and friendly. So these are the some of the qualities that people in the mode of goodness exhibit. So so you have seen this, like this is a small like a small exercise. Suppose you have seen this. This is a famous story in India. Like we have like when a person with a basket of hats, he's going around, and then there are a few monkeys in the tree. So these monkeys grab these hats, and they climb up the tree. So how do you think a person in the mode of goodness react, and how do you think a person in the mode of passion react, and how do you think a person in the mode of good ignorance react? So person in the ignorance, so he'll basically cry, and he goes back to home and say my whole business is lost, and he tell his wife that okay, my business is lost because all my hats were stolen away by monkeys and all. And the person in the mode of passion, he tries to throw a stone at the monkeys, and he takes snap decisions, but can he get his hats from the monkeys? Basically they will run away, right? So, and a mode of goodness, how does he think? He throws he throws down the hat, and because monkeys like to imitate, and they throw down the hat. So the point is, person in the mode of goodness have a vision. They have a vision before they act. So they think before they act. Just like there is a saying, right? You measure twice before you, and then you cut once. Suppose if you take a piece of cloth, and if you measure nicely and then cut, you'll get a nice piece of cloth. And suppose if you cut twice, and before you measure, and then you measure once, what happens? You are completely ruining the whole cloth. So person in the mode of goodness, they think before they act. That is the nature of a person in the mode of goodness. So how to become a noble leader? How to become a noble leader? A leader must have Rajoguna. Usually Raja means Rajasic. He has a Rajasic qualities. He has some aggressive qualities. But when he is backed up with Sattvaguna, then he becomes a noble leader. It's a quality of assertiveness. So for example, if you look at Maharaj Shivaji, so he has like a Tukaram, and even Krishna. Krishna is a Sattvaguna, and Arjuna is a Raja. So Krishna, Arjuna is backed up by Sattvaguna Krishna, right? Krishna gives him all the knowledge to Arjuna, and Arjuna acts like a noble leader. So Sattvaguna, when accompanied by mode of passion, he can become a noble leader with a vision, and you can spread welfare activities. And that is a more becoming a how you can become a noble leader. So it is very important to develop and boost of the mode of goodness, all the modes of, and how do we do that? We have seen the qualities of mode of goodness, right? How do we do that? By ABCD principle. A means associate with saintly people. When you associate with saintly people, their hearts are filled with positive qualities, and they have a love and compassion and devotion, and they impart those kind of qualities onto you. So that way you can grow your mode of goodness. And Krishna is basically saying you have to give up your lower modes, your lower modes of passion and ignorance, and slowly you have to grow into mode of goodness. Why? This will facilitate for further progress in spiritual life. Once you get onto mode of goodness, that will facilitate for further progress in the spiritual life. And these are some of the things how we can develop those mode of goodness qualities. So anything we do, like habits, we to give up bad habits, we cannot give up bad habits right away. So we have to add good habits to our life. Once we add good habits to our life, then slowly the bad habits will go away. So how we can improve or boost our mode of goodness? By A, B, C, D, E formula. So first one is associating with saintly people. B is books, studying and applying the wisdom of scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, and chanting and meditation, mantra meditation. We'll also see how scientifically mantra meditation is so effective in bringing ourselves to mode of goodness. And also diet, karma free diet, like vegetarian diet, like fruits, milk, grains, cereals. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prahischati tadaham bhaktya upahritam asnami praitatmanah. When one offers a fruit, a flower, or a flute, a flower, a leaf, or toyam. Toyam is water. Offers that with love and devotion, I accept it. So similarly, if we maintain our health, I mean, if we maintain our diet in mode of goodness of karma free food by offering to Lord, if we maintain karma free diet, that also helps in growing our mode of goodness. And then the environment we create around ourselves. So if we avoid all the unfavorable situations and we put ourselves in a favorable situation to boost our mode of goodness, that's also one way of acquiring those mode of goodness qualities. So so the Harvard University has done a research, and they reveal that mantra meditation leads to a relaxed state of mind and with alertness. So if you look at this slide, on the left side there is brain waves, right? Cycles per second. So the brain continuously functions, the number of cycles per second. If your cycles per second is in 3 cycles per second or 8 cycles per second, you are basically in sleepy zone or drowsiness zone, right? That is mode of ignorance, that is tamaguna. And there are some activities that we perform, like if in that activities the brain cycles per second is above 18 or above 13, the hyperactive zone, that can even lead to your death. There are some instances where people collapse and they die because they reached like a 21 or 22 cycles per second of brain frequency. So they have done a research where where you can mantra meditation helps you in relaxing yourself. So this way you're basically boosting your mode of goodness. And if you maintain your brains per cycle, I mean brains wave frequency cycles per second in 8 to 13, so by performing mantra meditation, by reading scriptures and all, you can maintain that mode of goodness, right? So it's a small personality test, a self test. Like, am I a plus manager or am I a minus manager? What is this? So if you can take a piece of paper and take a pen, if you can do a small activity, so you can plan. So somebody who is good at planning, please put plus in that planning section. Okay, please put plus in the planning section. And if you don't plan, if you're not good at planning, put minus there, right? And if you're good at are very hardworking, and you're very like a workaholic, and you're very good at performing activities, you do plus or minus in do section. And if you are good at interacting with people, put plus or minus in that section. So we'll see what we will based upon the pluses and minus we get. We will see, we can get like either plus plus plus, or plus or minus minus minus, and so whatever it is. So we'll see who is a plus time manager. That means if you get like two pluses or more, you are a plus time manager. You're if you get like if you're good at planning, if you're good at doing things, and if you're good at interacting with people, then you are a balanced person. So such a person is very rare. I mean, usually in general, like not many people are like that. And if you are like a good at planning, and if you're good at doing things, but if you don't interact with people, then you do your own things well, but you're not a team player, right? So if you're good, if you're not good at planning, but if you're good at doing things, and if you're good at interacting with people, basically what you do is you prioritize other people's activities more than your own, right? And then if you are good at planning, and if you're not so good at doing things, and if you're good at interacting, you have good intentions, but you don't act, you don't perform activities. So why is this necessary to know ourselves? By understanding our own nature, we can take steps to raise ourselves into mode of goodness, and you can basically have a balanced life. Suppose if you're only good at planning, and you don't act, or if you don't interact with people, you are nothing but a daydreamer. And if you don't plan, or if you don't interact with people, you're continuously working, you are a workaholic, right? And some people are very popular people, they don't do anything. They all they do is just chit chat, and they don't even finish any work, but they do just I mean, but they become popular by making friendship with others, right? So let's see, like if you're a minus time manager, see what we're trying to do here is we are trying to know ourselves, and we're trying to raise ourselves to the mode of goodness. So suppose if you are minus in doing and interacting, you're a daydreamer. And suppose if you are minus in planning, and if you're minus in interacting, and if you're only good at doing things, you're workaholic, right? And if you're minus in planning and minus in doing, but you're good at interacting with people, you're incompetent. You basically interact with other people, you cannot accomplish anything. You just say things that I want to do this, I want to do that, but you never get anything done. And when you are negative on all those things, you're basically neither delightful nor incompetent. You're not ever competent, you're incompetent. So when we can manage our time nicely, we can basically use our time. See, out of 24 hours, we sleep for 6 to 7 hours every day, right? We sleep 6 to 7 hours every day, and then we cook and clean ourselves in 3 hours a day. So that is almost like 10 hours is gone. And then we go to work, another 10 hours is gone. So 20 hours is gone. And then you interact with our on phone calls and this and that, and so the rest of the time is also gone. If we don't manage our time properly, we will not have time to perform activities that will elevate us to mode of goodness. That is very important. If we don't elevate ourselves to mode of goodness, we cannot progress in our spiritual life, or we cannot understand the higher principles of spiritual life. So that is why Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita the nature of a person in Trigunya. Trigunya means like three modes of material nature, like a mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. One have to understand their nature and act accordingly. And in modern day, there is so much explosion of gadgets, and as we all know, in the last 10 years, there is last 10-20 years, there is so much iPads and phones, and we hardly interact with each other. So because of that, like the scientists are saying, like if we if there is so many hormones are missing, maybe some of you doctors can probably confirm, dopamine is a secretion that gives a sense of completion, and endorphin is a secretion that gives you joyfulness, right? And serotonin is a secretion, is like a hormone, and that helps you to like self contribute. You can selfless contribution, because people are completely indulging in completely wasting their time in activities like this. They don't even perform selfless contribution to the society anymore, right? And then oxytocin, it's a hormone that the feeling of social connection. So people don't interact anymore. They are completely busy on gadgets. So our sleep, happiness, health, and relationships, all these are important for a satisfactory life. So these are all the qualities that are coming together to raise ourselves into mode of goodness, sattva from mode of ignorance, rajoguna, or mode of passion, mode of ignorance, to mode of goodness. So this is very important, how we can manage our time. If we see the first quadrant, first quadrant is the important and urgent. Every activity, if we can divide all our day-to-day activities into different activities, you have some important activities, very important activities, and very urgent activities. For example, suppose if you ran out of petrol, if you ran out of gasoline in your car in the middle of the road, so that is a breakdown or a crisis management. So that is an action that is in the mode of passion, that is the rajoguna, because you did not plan properly. So if you look in the second quadrant, so you train yourself, educate yourself, empower others to do their activities and planning, and you always work on self developing and raising yourself into mode of goodness, and you develop a healthy relationship with everybody. So you're planning ahead. So you're suppose 4 days ahead, before the gasoline is completed, you plan. So okay, you go to the gas station and you fill your car, right? So that is planning. That's a quadrant of quality. And if we can if you look at the quadrant, sorry, if you look at the quadrant 3 and 4, this is useless, not so important things, spending too much time on like wasteful things, like you spend so much time on like WhatsApp or TikTok or Instagram and all these social media things, and we spend so much time negativity in listening to breaking news and all this. We bombard ourselves with so much negative things. So if we can cut down all these things, we can help ourselves and managing our time so efficiently, so that we can utilize the very little time that's available in our hands, to educate ourselves to raise to the mode of goodness platform, to sattvaguna. So can you all participate? Like can you please unmute yourself and see, like suppose, can you tell me like which of these activities will fall into either passion or goodness or mode of ignorance? So the first one, never settling goals, or settling goals and not sticking to them. Is it mode of goodness or passion or ignorance?
Ignorance.
Ignorance, correct. Very good. And then suppose moving around and socializing too much to feel security. Is it mode of ignorance or passion or goodness?
Ignorance again.
Ignorance again.
Um, Not quite correct. So, I mean, see, moving around and socializing,
It's a passion.
yeah, ignorance is correct. If you're moving around for security, then that is ignorance. Suppose if you're moving around to popularize yourself, to become famous, then that is passion, right? And the next one, low levels of concentration, getting easily distracted by trivial things. Can anybody tell?
I would say it's ignorance again.
Well, it is a mode of passion, because like you always get distracted. See, ignorance means you're dull, you don't perform any activity. Whereas in mode of passion, you get easily distracted by trivial things. Okay, this one looks nice, that one looks nice. I want to accomplish this, I want to accomplish that. So you're in mode of passion. In passion, you perform things, but you get easily distracted. And next one, doing more than one thing at a time and accepting unrealistic deadlines. What is that?
Mode of passion again.
Mode of passion, correct. Getting involved in everything to gain credit and popularity.
Mode of
Passion
passion.
again.
Huh?
Mode of passion again.
Mode of passion, correct.
Credit and passion.
Yeah, indecisive and postponing decisions.
Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Correct. That is correct. So we cannot make any decisions. They're always dejected, dull, ignorant. They cannot make any decision by themselves, and they keep crying. That is a finding faults with oneself, beating oneself. That is a indecisiveness and postponing decisions. Basically, that is mode of ignorance. Thinking no one else can manage my work if I'm absent.
Mode of passion.
Mode of passion. Feeling difficulty to work with highly accomplished people and smart leaders.
Ignorance.
Ignorance and also passion. It's both are correct. Because if somebody is a mode of ignorance, they might think, oh, somebody else is more talented than me. I might lose my job. So they are helpless. They feel in a helpless situation or a hopeless situation, right? And somebody is in passion. They think I'm better than anybody else. And somebody who comes try to come too close to me, then I'm going to fire him. So that is mode of passion. So both are correct in this situation. Forgetting things or badly organized, unclean desk.
Ignorance.
Yeah, tamoguna. This is also tamoguna. Looking for too much of perfection in job, leading to micromanagement.
Passion.
Passion. You don't give freedom to others to do their things. You want to control too much. That is mode of passion. See, Bhagavad Gita is telling us how we can understand our day-to-day activities and people around us, and understand whether they're in mode of goodness, mode of passion, and how we can raise ourselves and how we can help others raise to mode of goodness. So if we start introspecting, so what are the two things in everybody has like a personal life or a family life, and also we have career, I mean professional life, right? What are the two things that we want? In family life, we want relationships. 2 R's. We have to remember this. 2 R's. One is relationship. Relationships bring joy. And in professional life, results bring joy. So if you maintain good results, I'm sorry, if you maintain good relationships, you can always get good results, whether it is at home or whether it is in office or in at work. When we maintain good relationships, we can we can bring up good results, and that brings joy within you, and also people around you. You can spread joy, right? So how smart workers focus on? So these once you basically elevate yourself to a mode of goodness, you improve communication with people, and you better prepare for the situations, the adverse conditions that come across your life, and you plan and organize nicely, and you take care of yourself nicely, like you eat nicely healthy food, like a karma free diet, and also like you do yoga asanas and help yourself. Basically you are helping yourself and taking care of yourself. These are all the activities in mode of goodness, and seizing up new opportunities. When new opportunities come upon, you seize those opportunities, and you personality development. So you manage your time so nicely so that you can develop your personality. You have time for educating yourself. You have time for learning and reading, like the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and all those things. And you also have a intelligence to maintain like a preventive maintenance before it reaches to a crisis situation. And you also empower everybody around you. You can empower everybody around you to perform. So I mean, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Once suppose if you're in a bad situation, if you're not healthy, if you empower and train everybody around you, they will perform the task. So this is the activities, this is how you perform activities in mode of goodness. So one of the important qualities in the mode of goodness is in time management is everybody is to wake up early in the morning. So there is I want to show you a small video. This because in Brahma Muhurta it's called as a Brahma Muhurta. A Brahma Muhurta in a Panchanga Shravana you will understand like the day is divided into different parts. So the night, as you go towards the night, it is mode of ignorance. In the early hours is the mode of goodness. Okay, and in the during the day, like in the afternoon and all, it's more in the mode of passion. A lot of activity goes on. And as the day close down to night, it's basically in mode of ignorance. People who are in the mode of ignorance, they become active in the night. And whereas people who are in the mode of goodness, they become active in the early morning. Like, see, you wake up early in the morning and you meditate or you perform puja, and that is mode of goodness. You are basically helping yourself to raise to mode of goodness. I just want to show you a small video why all the billionaires wake up in the mode of goodness, like at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Is there an audio attached to the video? Its slide is going a little fast for me.
Can you hear?
No, we cannot.
Oh, really? You did not hear? The whole video is finished.
No.
Oh, I don't know how to play the audio across this. Anyway, I will send this video and then you all can listen to the video. So basically what they're saying is at least did you see the video?
Yes.
Did you read the things
I
that?
tried to read it. It was going a little fast for me to catch from one slide to another.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll send this video. So what they're saying is when you wake up early in the morning and the brain functions so nicely. That's what Krishna is also saying in Bhagavad Gita. So the morning hours is in the mode of goodness. In the afternoon hours is in the mode of passion. And in the night hours is in the mode of ignorance, tamoguna. So the morning hours needs to be used for the most important activities like meditation, mantra meditation, and reading Bhagavad Gita or something like that. And that will set the tone for the rest of your day. Right, that's what they're saying. Even the successful people like billionaires like Tim Cook and Oprah Winfrey and then the other person, whoever it is. So they all were saying that they wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and they set the positive tone for the entire day. That's what they were explaining in this video. So that's exactly what Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is also saying. These are the divine qualities of a people. These are the divine qualities and how they function in the mode of goodness. Everybody is subjected to these three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. We have to raise above the platform of mode of tamoguna and rajoguna and go towards satvaguna. Only then that in that mode it will help us to move forward in our spiritual life. So that's all in this session. So basically what we're trying to do in this session is we're setting up a tone and to understand ourselves how we are different from animals. If we are performing every activity like animals also perform, what is the difference against animals? And we are trying to understand how better we are and what makes us better and how we can understand how we are subjected to the three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and how we have to raise ourselves from mode of passion and ignorance towards mode of goodness. And also the divine qualities and the demoniac qualities. Those in the chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains the nature of a divine person and the nature of a demoniac person. We also studied those things. So in the upcoming sessions, what we're going to study is the 5S formula, how we can raise to mode of goodness and how we can cultivate the positive thoughts. And these are all based on Bhagavad Gita. These completely everything is based on Bhagavad Gita. Ultimately make the purpose of human life successful. So we'll study soul, about soul, who is soul, and the body. What's the difference between the body and the soul? And once you understand that, it's called Sankhya philosophy, the difference between the body and soul. The body is nothing but it's a inert, dead matter, and whereas the soul is the one that gives animation to the body. And we will study about that in detail as we go forward. And also, who is the supreme? Just like when we are the driver, we operate the car, this whole entire cosmic manifestation is being operated by someone who is very intelligent and who is that supreme. Even Einstein says that I believe in an intelligent designer. If I met God, I will ask him how you created a universe. And then scriptures. And another thing is we study scriptures. Suppose if we go to a college, a medical college, an engineering college, we were given some books to study. Similarly, we were also given these scriptures across the board, across different dharmas and different religions. They have these things like the Bible or Bhagavad Gita and Quran and all these things. So what are these scriptures? We will also study what are these scriptures and what are the how we can understand the life, our own life, and also life around us. and the universal creation. We'll also study about that, how these scriptures came up and all those things, and solutions to our real life problems. So the Vedic wisdom offers perfect spiritual solutions, and to put a full stop to all our problems in our life. And sound vibrations, how sound vibrations are very important. Spiritual music, George Harrison is telling, spiritual music is a way to go inside to your own temple and calm down your mind. How you can calm down, we already discussed, right? Mind is the reins of the five horses. If you control the mind, then you control the horses, that is, you control the all the senses. That, and why that is very important, we also discussed that. And there is a research done, like Dr. David Brain Wolf, he said like a regular chanting of mantras reduces the amount of stress and depression, and we'll also scientifically study that in future sessions. And so that's all. We'll just go through a quick summary of what we studied real quick. So happiness, we studied like a improved facility. We think that having improved facility for eating, sleeping, mating and defending gives us happiness. All right, and we studied about that, and we also studied about like what's the common principles between human and animals, that is eating, mating, sleeping, defending, the four common activities. And also animals have rational power and intelligence. And we also studied about one of the important verses in Hitopadesha Mahabharata, Ahara Nidra Vaimaitanam Cha. So these are the four qualities between humans and animals. How humans can inquire beyond life and death, whereas animals cannot do that. And we also studied about the divine and demoniac qualities. What is a person? What is the qualities of a person who is in the tamoguna, rajoguna, satvaguna, positive thoughts and negative thoughts, how we can apply in our day-to-day life. And we also studied about 3 tips. We studied 3 tips, like tip 1, tip 2 and tip 3 in the art of smart work, based upon the principles of 3 modes of material nature. So we studied in like a first tip was like write a book of your life wisely. We write a book of so we studied about the chariot of body, the horses, and the soul is a passenger. We studied about that, and how we have the innate divine qualities and the acquired demoniac qualities, how we have to cut down all those demoniac qualities. And then we studied about how a passionate person backed up by a mode of goodness can become a noble leader. And we studied about that, and how to boost mode of goodness. The formula is ABCDE, associating with saintly people and reading the books of wisdom, chanting and meditation, diet and exercise. D's diet and exercise, like proper karma free diet, a vegetarian diet, and exercise and that kind of things. And environment, putting ourselves in a positive environment will also help us in boosting our mode of goodness. And we also studied about a plus time manager. What do a plus time manager do? He plans, he plans, and he interacts, and he also acts. A person who plans, interacts, and acts, he has a 3 pluses in all 3 columns. He's a balanced person. Such a person, he's a plus time manager. How you have to manage your time so that you can efficiently use your time in your day-to-day needs, and also you can set aside some time for your spiritual well-being. And how we can have to cut down all the time waste that causes our time waste, and also and positive thoughts, and to develop our mode of goodness. So is it any helpful, or did I confuse everybody? Do you have any questions?
It was a nice intro, actually. Enjoyed hearing it to start out.
Akshat, did you have a question, Akshat? You raised a hand in the middle of the session.
Yeah, I wanted to say animals face some of those same things. Animals, there are natural things they become addicted to and they can suffer from that. And animals can also commit suicide as well. So There are things that even animals are not free from that humans suffer from.
Well, so still basically, I mean, we think we are advanced, right? We think the activities we perform help us to give happiness. The point is, we try to do activities to help us find happiness, in search of happiness. But these things, are we really gaining happiness? We are struggling for happiness, but are we really enjoying that happiness? That's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah. I'm just saying there are some things that not even animals are.
Okay, that's a good point. Definitely, yes, yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
Yeah, so it was a very good session. Learned a lot. Thank you so much for teaching us all this.
Okay, you're welcome. I hope I didn't confuse anybody.
No, hopefully we'll catch up sometime.
Yeah, yes. So shall we end the?
So some of them asked, were not able to make it to the session today. They asked for a recording.
Okay,
So
I
how do
started
we?
recording in the beginning. I will
Yes.
maybe
So
upload
how
that.
can we send the recording? Do we need email addresses, or they can just log into the link provided, and the recording will be available for 30 days? As far as I know, they can just log in, and even if the session is not going on, I think they can watch the video. That is how this interface works, if I'm not wrong.
I think I can download it. Once I download it, maybe I'll upload onto YouTube or
We'll
something.
be able to.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll
Yes,
give the link or something.
that's a great idea, actually.
Okay.
Mm.
So we'll meet next week.
Yes.
for the
Thank you
following
so much.
sessions.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.